The Legend of Zelda series is iconic for its creation of unique and incredibly cool looking enemies. Throughout the many years of Zelda, we have been gifted with some of the best foes seen in a video game. Poes, Darknuts, Gibdos, the list really is endless. But with the release of Twilight Princess for the Wii in 2007, a new enemy was created, one that is now my absolute favourite in the series. A new enemy only seen in Twilight Princess and Twilight Princess HD. The enemy in which I am referring to has a dark, willowy body structure with giant hands and what seem to be tentacle-like hair. Their faces are covered with some sort of metal armoured headdress. Their bodies glow with a red neon light. If you haven't guessed by now, I would be pretty shocked, but I am of course referring to Shadow Beasts. Shadow Beasts drop out of portals all across Hyrule and in the Twilight Realm. Interestingly enough, these beings are members of the Twilight race. They were corrupted from the darkness by the powerful usurper, Twilight King Zant. When Zant usurped the throne, he sealed away the souls of some of the Twilight people, and a mystical magical orb, emanating a sacred light that banishes evil, began to choke the last bit of light out of the Twilight people and turn them into the terrifying creatures we know as Shadow Beasts. It is also hinted by Barnes that they are not only composed of transformed Twilight, but also have the ability to turn humans into their kind, meaning that they are not restricted to one species. But how could this work? How could a human really be transformed into such an ugly monster like a Shadow Beast? Humans are not like the Twilight species. Humans are full of life and colour, full of joy and happiness. Well, in the same way that Zant uses his powers to draw what little light the Twilight possess, he would use his powers to draw all the light from humans, which would then turn them into the very same dark beings. There is a reason they are dark creatures and called Shadow Beasts. Anything Zant draws light from will inevitably turn into the very same creature. Zant abuses these Shadow Beasts like a puppet, picking them up and dropping them wherever he may please. By using the Shadow Beasts, he is able to spread terror and twilight across the land of Hyrule. Zant is able to send them through portals that connect the light and the Twilight Realm together. Using these portals, he is able to drop these creatures on Link to delay his travels and progress, usually dropping in packs of 3 or more, except for the first encounter in Autumn Spring where only one is dropped as a sort of starting tutorial on how to beat them. Shadow Beasts are incredibly resilient and strong. If just one Shadow Beast is left standing during the group battle, it will utter an unearthly howl that rejuvenates the others. So at least the last 2 must be killed at the same time in order to truly defeat a pack. Shadow Beasts are very strong enough in fact that only a few were needed to overrun and defeat the scores of Hylian soldiers guarding Princess Zelda, despite the fact that the princess had huge advantages such as a castle which could be easily defended, and not to mention the huge numbers of soldiers she had at her disposal, and yet Zant was easily able to take her down with just a handful of Shadow Beasts he had. Zant didn't even have to delve into his own powers to take the castle. That's how strong these beasts are. And it's this cutscene where we see for the first and last time a unique looking Shadow Beast. The cutscene in which Zant and his loyal minions easily overthrow Princess Zelda is where many questions arise. One of these questions is, what are these unique Shadow Beasts? As Zant approaches Princess Zelda, he is accompanied by 2 special looking Shadow Beasts. These are larger than conventional Shadow Beasts and bear a different head dressing and a round silver plate with a special marking on them. What this marking means is a mystery, but it's likely that the markings are just old Twilight markings that mean nothing more than just a fancy appearance. These monsters are never seen during actual gameplay, so their status and any exclusive powers remain a secret. One possible theory is that they are a sort of honour guard for Zant, as they always appear near him, generally in flanking positions. Other possible answers suggest that they might simply be with Zant for the ceremony and are not actually warriors. They could be higher up authority that advise and assist Zant with politics and governing the Twilight Realm. They could just be there to help with the negotiations and terms that Zant would enforce. But if that's the case, then why the bigger body structure? If they were just simple politicians, why the need for that added size and strength? This makes me think that they are more than just politicians. More than just Zant's helpers with helping to run the Twilight Realm. I personally don't believe he would even need such type of beings. Zant is such a powerful force within the Twilight Realm that the Twilight wouldn't even dare step out of line or cause any problems, worrying that Zant would either turn them into more Shadow Beasts or just execute them on the spot. So perhaps they are some kind of higher warrior rank. If so, this could mean they are of higher intelligence and have some sort of class, so to speak. Their higher intelligence could explain the absent tendrils coming off their heads. The standard shadow beasts we see and face in the game appear to be simpletons, sent to do Zant's dirty work. They don't seem to have much intelligence and just seem to be mindlessly killing everything and anything in sight, so it's possible that these different, possibly higher ranking shadow beasts might command them while Zant worries about stopping Link. As interesting as all these theories are, these shadow beasts are actually called Twilight Assassins or Twilight Guards, a stronger, more powerful version of shadow beasts, and they were only in the beta version of the game, which explains why we see them in Hyrule Castle cutscene. The Zelda team must have forgotten to remove them or just left them to mess with us, but why would they want to remove such a sinister looking creature from Twilight Princess? Well, I have a possible idea as to why. Maybe the creators of the game didn't want to overload us with too many powerful enemies. I mean, if we actually think about it, there are a lot of powerful foes Link must face throughout his journey. We have all the end bosses from all the main dungeons of the game, as well as all the mini bosses, the Twilight Bloat, Twilight Carrier Kargarok, and even Skull Kid in the Sacred Grove. All of these, including the many battles with the normal shadow beasts, make up a hefty amount of intense combat. Plus we have Zant we must face and kill, and of course the standoff with Ganondorf at the end of the game. So I believe that they didn't want any more powerful enemies due to having too many already in the game that exist. So in reality, some had to go, such as these Twilight Assassins. But I wish they had been added, because I personally think they would have been a great addition, similar to the Garrows in Majora's Mask. And then the encounter with the infamous Garrow Master in the Stone Tower Temple. The same enemy species but different ranking versions. It's always annoying when ideas get cut from games, especially when you love the title it was cut from and you wish you could see more content, but at least we got to see them in the cutscene. It's just a shame we never got to encounter and fight them. It really makes me wonder what sort of attacks they would have had, or what sort of damage they would have dealt to Link. They possibly could have even wielded a sword, or even dual wielding swords. These will continue to fascinate me forever. But I would also love to know your opinions on them, so why not drop a comment down below, as I would love to know what your thoughts are about the removed Twilight Assassins. Also, why not hit the subscribe button for more Zelda content? I upload twice a week, on Wednesday and Sunday, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. Plus hit that thumbs up for me, as it really does help out the channel. If you have any other questions or queries, then feel free to follow me on Twitter, the link will be in the description down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.